Good. Glad you're all here. We're going to get right to it this morning, kind of try to get in our habit of just getting rolling. And so this morning we have one presentation, and it's by Sean England from Culture Clothing. And so I'm going to turn it over to Sean and let him get going. Welcome, Sean. Oh, standing ovation for Sean.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, guys. That standing ovation thing is pretty cool. Well, my name is Sean England. I own and operate a shop here in town called Culture Clothing with my wife, Lissa, and we have 3 wonderful team members as well. Culture Clothing buys, sells, and trades men's and women's clothing and accessories. We buy all of our inventory from the public, and so you can come in and sell us clothing. We pay cash for clothing or trade. So, let's see. So I want to explain the buy, sell, trade aspect of our business a little bit. You can come into our store and obviously buy clothing. We're a clothing store. We ask that you do so that we can keep the doors open. You can also come in and sell us clothing. So, clean out your closet, bring us some clothing. One of our buyers will go through it, and then based on the current inventory levels of our store, the name brand, the condition of the item, we will make you a cash or a store credit offer on the spot. And then the trade part of our business is just the store credit portion. So if you have some items that you have used and they're gently used and you want to trade them for new to you items, just bring them into our shop and we will make you an offer. So 3 ways that we serve our customers is one of the main ones is a return on investment. So if you're a person who has invested in a designer item or any clothing for that matter, and you're ready to kind of upgrade to the next designer bag or the next pair of shoes, you can bring that bag to us. We will pay you cash for that item, and then you can go buy the new item. And then that item that you had will go to a new home and be well loved. One thing that I'm proud of is we make all brands and styles accessible to the public in our store. So we sell everything from vintage clothing all the way to high-end designer names that are not available in any other store in Lubbock, and as well as just some of the staple brand names that you can find. But it's all going to be curated and handpicked by me or one of our buyers. And then also an environmental impact. Resale shops like ours, I like to think, kind of make a dent in the environment as far as giving life to the clothing, keeping it out of landfills one more day. One of the main things that end up in landfills is textile and clothing. So by recycling the clothing, giving it to a new owner, it gives it a little more life, gives it one more owner, one more closet to live in before it hits a landfill, hopefully. So our beginnings, 4 years ago, we started really out of desperation. I was kind of at a crossroads in the middle of a career change, and it was either go find a job in corporate America or start a small business. And so my wife and I have had the opportunity to travel quite a bit in the 10 years we've been married, and anytime we travel, we always seem to end up in these cool, locally owned hubs of whatever city we're in, eating at the local restaurants, shopping at the local boutiques. And as we kind of took that in consideration and took that as inspiration, when looking at opening a small business, we really looked at the Lubbock market, noticed there was a gap in the Lubbock market, particularly in the resale fashion industry. 4 years ago when we opened, the only resale stores that were open were high-end women's consignment or thrift shops. There was no in-between. There was no option as far as in-between market. And so we wanted to open a place that paid cash for clothing, and we were the first place to do that in Lubbock at that time. And then also offer a place that did men's resale at the quality that we wanted to do it. And so 4 years ago, we were the first ones to do that. We started in this building here, 1717 Broadway, downtown. It was a great start for us. But the main problem we had was foot traffic. We just weren't seeing the foot traffic we needed. And so we moved locations over to Tech Terrace, which is where we are right now, right next door to J&B Coffee and Capital Pizza. Since moving, we've seen on average 400 customers per month. It's been some great growth. We're seeing a higher quality of inventory. We're seeing new customers, and luckily we're seeing a lot of the old customers from the old location. So It's been kind of a social experiment in the sense of just seeing, hey, can we sustain this business being as young as we are, just uprooting it and moving it? And it's been great. It's been surprising. Since day one, our mantra has been fashion, art, community. I think from the fashion aspect, it's kind of obvious what we do. We buy and sell clothing. But art and music and community has always inspired me and my wife. And from day one, we were on the First Friday Art Trail. And it was really cool because really they didn't have to give us a shot. I mean, the guys from the Lubbock came over, looked at our building, met us. We were just this no-name clothing store on the corner of Broadway and Avenue Q, and they thought we'd be a good fit for the art trail, and that has been huge. I mean, the amount of support we've gotten from the community, the artists we've met, the live musicians, we homebrew beer and serve it on the First Friday Art Trail. It's just a really good way to connect with a lot of people that may not otherwise step in our shop. So that's been a really cool experience. We also do community events like fundraisers. We do on March 17th, we've got a paint party coming up. So what it is you come and paint, and a portion of the proceeds that you pay to do that will go to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So we kind of want to hit the community aspect in some very specific ways, and whatever can attract people into our shop, honestly. And so this is the mural that's on the side of the Broadway building down on Broadway and Avenue Q. We commissioned that piece to be painted. I don't know, you guys may have seen this, but that was one thing that we wanted to do for the First Friday Art Trail, just to give back to the community. And the response we got from the community was incredible. It's just, it's kind of an approach of, yeah, we sell clothing, but we want to do something else that affects and gives back to our community in a special way, in the art community specifically. So that was something that was really cool. And then these are just some shots from our Instagram posts. We're very active on social media and social networking. So these are just some posts of the merchandise we have in our shop that we just send out to our 5,000 plus followers and hopefully get a response in either buying it and or commenting about their opinion on it. That happens a lot. So kind of to shift gears into how our business works. From day one, we've been committed to be a customer-funded business. What that means is we started with the cash in our savings account and just kind of went for broke. I mean, we just went for it and hoped it worked. And since day one, we have grown slowly through the cash flow from gross sales. And all of our inventory, we take a percentage of that, or we take a percentage of our gross sales and invest that back into our inventory levels. And so that's how we grow our inventory and hopefully grow our business long term, just kind of slow and deliberately. We're not afraid to take our time on it. So we're still learning a lot in the past 4 years that we've been open. And it presents some key challenges, I guess, in the way that we operate our business. Obviously, cash flow is an issue. If you have a slow month, then you're going to be restricted on some of the things you can do financially that month. So that's one of the big challenges we have, is how to continue to be efficient and grow at the same time. Be efficient financially and be very strategic in the way that we budget. So also educating our customer base on exactly how we work. I think a lot of customers just don't understand. Well, I mean, the majority of our phone calls are, hey, do you guys buy clothing? How does that process work? We have a link on our website that describes it, but I still think that that's a little slow, I guess. It's not as effective as possibly just, educating our customer base in another way, and I don't know what that would be quite yet. And then obviously just growing our business organically, word of mouth, continue to increase gross sales so we can plow some of the profits back into growing and expanding, and even just growing the current location we have would be some of my goals. And I guess if I had to sum it up in the one thing that I've learned in the past 4 years from starting as just a grassroots movement is be consistent in the details. Everything from making sure the merchandise is categorized correctly to sweeping, mopping every day, doing the small things, cleaning the windows. We also have it sounds like a small thing, but we have an odor control in our store. So when you come in, we want it to smell good. We don't want it to smell like a resale store necessarily. We don't want it to smell like used clothing. So small things like that have made a huge difference to our customer base, and we hear about it daily. And so I guess if I could sum it up, it's just, continue to be consistent in the details, no matter what part of your business you're in. And really, I guess that's it, guys. That was 6 minutes goes quick. But I appreciate the time. Thank y'all so much for listening to me.
So we've got a couple of roving mics. We're going to spend about 20 minutes taking questions. And so please raise your hand so you can get one of these mics, and that way we can pick it up better.
Well, Sean, thanks for coming this morning. In your business, I am a textile man, I am a cotton researcher. What is the value that this resale clothing gives to your customer? Is that the only cost and the access to multiple brands? What's that in your 4 years you have found that drives the customer to come into people like you?
Man, I love that question. I think the main value is we can sell you clothes at a discount, and whatever the brand is, we can give it to you typically for 50% off what typical retail is. And it depends on the brand and the style, but we also add value because as compared to other thrift shops, you're not going to find family reunion t-shirts hanging on our rack. I mean, we are very selective about what we sell. And so if you're a person that likes the thrill of the hunt when you shop, or you want to find that one unique piece, we are the shop to do that. Because you're going to find something that nobody else is going to carry.
All right. How did y'all make that decision to move from downtown to Tech Terrace?
Well, when we first opened 4 years ago, really Tech Terrace was our goal. That was after doing some market research and just kind of filling out the culture. Honestly, we wanted Tech Terrace. At the time, there wasn't an opening, and it just didn't work out. And we loved the idea of being in downtown Lubbock. And I thought, man, this is going to be cool. We're going to revitalize downtown, and it's obviously going to take more than one business to do that. And so, it was just seeing a consistent drop in foot traffic and gross sales from a strategic standpoint and just sustainability. We knew we had to make a move. And then, I think honestly, it was just through the will of God that the Tech Terrace place opened that we wanted at the time that we had the resources to do it. And we jumped on it. So.
Hi, my name is Gregory. I'm with Solution Zero. One of the things I've experienced in small business is that people like to haggle for prices because they think, oh, you're small, you can afford to give me a better price. And I would imagine in a resale shop that's a common thing. So how do you guys handle that situation when people come in and say, oh, I see this Prada bag, I want it for $200 instead of $250 or something?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, one thing we do to help combat that is twice a year we do markdowns. And so when you come in our store, you're going to see stamps on the price tags that say 25, 50, or 75% off. That's all based on how long we've had that particular item. So in that case, I can go, hey, I'm sorry, I wouldn't be able to do a markdown on this. It's a brand new item. And I explain how we do our markdowns. And that seems to be well received. Honestly, we still have customers that's not good enough for them. And so, okay, I'll give you $5 off, and I think in those aspects, it's customers that just want to feel like they're getting a great deal. And so we do our best to price it very competitively. We use resources like eBay to see what a comparable item is selling for and go, well, you can go buy this on eBay and pay shipping for the same amount, or you can buy it now and save the shipping. And honestly, this is in better condition than what this looks like it is on eBay. And you know what you're getting. I can explain the brands to you. I can explain why it's an authentic Prada bag,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you sell online at all?
We do. Honestly, I think that's a big struggle, a big hurdle that we're trying to cross right now. We have an online web store, but because every piece is unique, you're looking at taking thousands of pictures of items. And so the strategy we're taking right now is we're honestly just kind of filling it out, I guess, and taking the images of the pieces that we feel represent our brand the best, sticking that on the web store. And we have a great point of sale system in web store that talk to each other. So if something sells in the store, it pulls it off the web, and vice versa. If it sells on the web, it pulls the quantity out of our point of sale system for us. Yes, sir.
I think typically the Tech Terrace area is high student traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Are you reaching, say, older people through your advertising or through the word of mouth?
Yeah, that's a great question. We do our best to try to, and this is something that I don't have any data to back this up, but what I have noticed is I feel like an older demographic actually responds to Facebook better than Instagram. And so what I'll do is I'll tailor any of my Facebook ads that I sponsor or any of my Facebook posts, I will tailor that to an older demographic, a more conservative print on a dress, or a more classic, timeless Louis Vuitton purse instead of a younger per se style. So I have seen an increase, but it's we don't do any traditional marketing per se. So newspaper, TV, any of that, we're not really present there. And so the older demographics, again, when I say older, I'm talking 30 plus. I'm not talking, you know what I mean? I don't want it. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, yeah. But what I'm surprised about is, honestly, in the Tech Terrace neighborhood, it's a very eclectic neighborhood. So you've got a lot of the college-age kids, and then you've got an older demographic. And yes, yeah, and we've seen great support, to be honest with you. I sell a lot of neckties and I sell a lot of blazers. And so I do think tech professors are shopping there. I think professionals are shopping there. I sell a lot of dress shoes, higher end dress shoes to older men. And then women, the older demographic for women, I'm seeing a bigger increase in that. And I think that's just word of mouth from what I can tell. So yeah, I hope that answers the question.
Hi, I'm Joni. First, I just had one question, but the longer we talk, I just want to say, this is awesome.
Thanks.
I'm glad to hear about your store, and I'm going to run down there the first
Oh,
time
thank
I
you.
get. But I was just wondering if you have difficulty keeping your stock. I mean, you're talking about name brands, and I even have trouble finding them, ones that I can afford.
Yeah.
I mean, what I do is I shop during the sales,
Mhm.
and then fortunately, I've been able to lose some weight, and I've been changing sizes, so I have all this money invested in these name brand, really nice quality clothes that I don't want to just put in the Goodwill bag.
Yeah.
So I'm going to look to you
Come
guys.
see me, yeah.
Yeah, but I basically just want to say it sounds awesome, and I'm glad that you're here in Lubbock, and I can't wait to go to your store.
Thank you. I appreciate it. As far as difficulty retaining stock, in certain brands, yes. And I think that kind of possibly adds to the value of our brand. I mean, because if you see a Louis Vuitton bag come across Instagram, if you want that bag, it will go that day. So purchase it quickly. But yeah, we don't see a whole lot of the high-end brand names a lot. I mean, if you're looking for a high-end designer purse, we'll get a 2 or 3 a month. But once it's gone, it's gone. And it seems to come in waves. I mean, last week, for some reason, we bought like 4 or 5 different Louis Vuitton items and Tory Burch, and they're all sold now. So
Well, I think a lot of tech students might help you because they come from outside bigger
Yes.
cities and bring all their.
yes, we do see that. And something I haven't said either, we buy on average 800 to 1,000 brand new unique items a month. So we definitely buy more than we sell. So we constantly. I mean, that blew my mind, to be honest with you. I didn't expect that opening 4 years
I would
ago.
have never thought, but that's amazing.
Yeah, so we see a ton of merchandise, and typically if you bring in something, on average we'll buy 10 to 20% of what you bring in. The rest of it we just either can't take because we're stocked in that type of item, or it's just not the style we're looking for right now. So,
I have a question, I'm sorry.
yes.
Do you do any kind of PR in terms of maybe doing a fashion runway show or something on a tech campus or teaming with even like Goodwill, you know, to put your name and brands out there?
Yeah, we in the past we've worked with the I'm probably gonna mess up the name of the tech organization. The high fashion.
Fashion board?
Yes, but it was they do recycle. Like they'll take clothes and cut it up and make new clothing out of it. And so we've done fashion shows with them for the First Friday Art Trail. Also, we've done. I guess it was part of like an entrepreneurship panel for fashion majors at Tech, and I was able to speak there and get to meet a lot of people. And so as far as connecting with the Tech campus, yes, and then other PR things that we do honestly are just social networking, First Friday Art Trail. And we have dabbled a little bit in traditional advertising, but not a lot.
Hey, Sean.
Yes. Hey, hi Kurt.
Say, is retail a dirty word? In other words, would you consider new products? And I'm thinking like perfumes or shoes and things of that nature. And why so?
No, retail's to me is not a dirty word at all. I mean, the fashion industry has created an issue to where there's two main issues, I think, that typically fashion either costs too much or the styles change too often. And that's the exact way that they've designed it to be. And so, it's because of high-end designers and traditional retail markets that we even exist. And it's, we are fashion aware and fashion forward, and we know what's on trend. We just want to offer the alternative to that as well as the fashion forward on trend items. So.
Do you recondition clothing, or do you just are real particular when you buy?
Yeah, we're extremely particular when we buy. If there's any odors, if there's any snags, tears, or stains, we just pass on it. And occasionally, stuff will slip through the cracks, and if there's a broken zipper on something or a stain, and a customer points it out, then I'm always willing to go, well, I'll sell this to you for a discount. And if they don't buy it, then I usually just take it off the shelf. But sometimes a customer will be like, oh, I can sew this up, but I just don't want to pay this for it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the best case scenario, I think, for sure.
Dressing rooms?
Yes, we have 2 dressing rooms. And honestly, I think we need to look at expanding that at this point. It's more and more consistently that we're seeing both of those full. Yes?
Are you guys, I'm just curious, I know there's a lot of student Facebook groups, like ones like Teaching Garage Sale and such, and it just seems like there's like dozens of items that go through their weekly and they're buying items, exactly what you're looking for. I know a lot of, whether it's fraternities, sororities, or specific student organizations as well, they also have their own garage sale pages. Have you ever looked into going into those? Because it seems like it's right up your alley.
Yeah, honestly, I just found out about that last week. So I think that's a great resource.
Okay.
But yeah, it's something that I would definitely be interested in. And maybe this is just my ignorance, but I wouldn't say that we have an inventory intake issue. It's selling it quick enough,
Okay.
But yeah, I'm always looking out for great items that I know would sell.
Well, I was just almost on the opposite of using those channels to sell rather than just to buy.
See, I just thought that you had to be part of the sorority or fraternity to do so. So that's kind of why I steered away. But yeah. No, I would definitely look into that. We use eBay a lot as well. If we have a high-end designer item that's just not moving, I can stick it on eBay and usually get what I want for it. But we've also used, there's a Facebook page called Trading Up, but businesses aren't supposed to be on there, so I just kind of stay away from that, but just honor their rules.
Do you have an issue with that?
We do buy seasonal. We're only in a 2,200 square foot shop, and so we do men's and women's. That gets small really quick, so we have to buy seasonal. Otherwise, we just don't have the space to stock all seasons at once.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Do you keep like a back inventory of the next seasons?
No, it just seems that we start buying I started buying spring items the beginning of February, and we're pretty stocked.
So then you don't want to take my sweaters that I have?
Not right now, but bring them in. We'll take a look at them. So, yes, sir.
Okay, so is your bigger issue moving your inventory or getting inventory?
Moving my inventory.
So finding inventory is not an issue?
Not at this point, especially in the size of store we're in.
So are you just buying locally?
Yes. Yeah, 100% of our inventory. Well, I will say jewelry and scarves come from a wholesale outlet, but the rest of our clothing, shoes, bags, all are bought locally. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes,
you may
ma'am.
already do this because you guys are awesome at your marketing, but since you use Facebook a lot, and it's really social, it's not really a business medium, but maybe instead of saying used clothing, you should say you're changing your clothing's relationship status.
That's cool. Yeah.
And ask people who come in and buy things for events and whatnot to post, I wore this to the Cattle Barons. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wore it, your store, and if they post it and they get X amount of likes or their friends like it, and get them to start.
Yeah, that's a great
using
idea.
their social marketing, social networking.
Yes.
I'm so out of the lingo, I'm in that older group. But,
Don't point at me.
I'll point at Mike, he's older than me.
Okay.
And, but it
Yeah.
just occurred to me to let that medium do the marketing for you, and those customers show off what they found. And maybe, I wonder if there might be one of the newscasters, especially a guy, who would let you outfit him like Jay Hoffman's does for Sharon's.
Yeah.
So,
I've actually talked to Fox 34 and some of the news outlets about that. They have an exclusive deal with Dillard's, and so, but I mean that's great. But I will say this: numerous news anchors shop with us. I've seen them in there a lot, so it's awesome. It's a privilege to see that because I'm like, man, you get free clothing from Dillard's. What are you doing here? And they're like, oh, I was looking. Yeah. Well, and they'll come in and I'm not gonna say any names, but she came in and bought a dress the other day, and I was like, well, that's awesome. Thank you. You don't have to do that. She's like, oh, I just love your shop. So it was a compliment for sure.
My question is, how could some of us in here help your business out?
Man, I think I love that question.
That's the final question
Yeah.
you're supposed to have, so
Yeah.
we'll end on that.
Just shop with us, and not just with us, but man, the Lubbock small business market is growing a lot, and so you don't have to search to shop at a local boutique anymore. They're on every corner, local restaurants. Just make a conscious effort to buy local, shop local. But with our store, just keep us in mind next time you're cleaning out your closet, and keep us in mind next time you want to go shopping. I think because of marketing and branding, it's so easy to go, oh, I'm just going to run to the mall real quick, or I'm just going to run to Old Navy real quick. But we can compete with their prices, we can compete with the brand names, and we're eager to have your business.
What are your hours?
We're Monday through Saturday, 10:30 to 7.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So that's it for us today. Please hang out and meet some folks, and we'll see you next week.